Alright, the opening scene to this video is kind of like cut short. Well, my wife told me supper was ready. Well, it was getting dark and I was trying to get this video before it got dark, get it in the shop. And you can probably see the bruise last time she told me supper was ready. So I was just in a rush. Here you go. Customer brought me this Jeep, said it's making a click, click, click noise. Let's figure it out. Let's hop in it and see if we can make a click, click, click noise. Said it only does it in four-wheel drive and they've replaced the driver axle. So pretty sure it's the CV joint on the upper drive shaft on the transfer case. This is 0424, so it should have the U-joint on the bottom and CV on top. So let's make it make a noise. Alright, we're just doing circles in my driveway. Now, it should take full drive. It's always good to do it at a roll, neutral. There it goes. The reverse to drive always gets it done. Yeah, you can pretty much just hear it at the transfer case. So that's it. Put it in two-wheel drive. Usually just reverse to drive gets the job done if you're trying to get it out. Kind of sucks when you're stuck in a mud hole, but that's just how it is. See, it's still in four-wheel drive. I think it just popped out. I'm gonna get it on the lift and I'm gonna do like step-by-step on this video, so should know everything about it. Should be able to leave it in park since we're working on the front drive shaft as long as it's in two-wheel drive. So got it in the shop. If you are going to use a floor jack, cool, nothing wrong with that. It's actually not, probably honestly quicker just to use a floor jack, but for visuals I'm gonna lift it. If I was you, I would just lift one tire with a floor jack. That way you can twist the drive shaft. That's all you gotta do, but I'm gonna get on the lift and show you what we're working with. So I don't know what's actually going on. Listen, everything's made cheap China. That's just what we deal with. That's all you can buy. But usually when you spin a tire, it spins the drive shaft. This one literally just locks up when it gets to that one part in the CV. That's crazy. Anyway, let me show you what we're working on. Got the light up there. Usually the boot is busted, especially if it's the original one and all the grease comes out. This one, I guess, is just cheap. So let's get it out of there. This one's got U-joints on the bottom, so that's probably good. Pretty much, let's see, I can just show you right now. I'm gonna use the impact. Sometimes these struggle to get in there, sometimes you gotta use quarter drive stuff, but just an extension. See if we can get it out of there. Quit trying to throw my camera in the floor. So roll it around till you get it on there. I don't know why that one is binding up like that. I'm gonna swap the quarter drive stuff. Quarter drive with a 8mm or 5/16 really don't matter. There is a size difference, but for this application we're good. Fits a lot nicer. So now we gotta spin the other way for some reason. Alright, so the bolts are out, but they can stay in. Then right here, I usually just roll these to the bottom. Make sure you got straight access to them. That's usually where I lay them. See how, if you do it right here, sometimes you can, but it's just safer to roll it down to the, well, goodness gracious. Right there. That way you can get on them good. So now let me grab a pry bar. Try to keep your fingers on the U-joint. If you got factory Spicer, they're better about staying together. But if you're worried, you may want to put tape around the U-joints because the caps will fall off there, especially if it's a cheap one like this. And now we may be able to just pop it off there. I didn't do this. I don't quite remember, but I know I didn't do this. The transfer case is about to fall off. Y'all see that? Look right there. Huh. Well, guess I need to fix that. But if you just keep rolling this around and just keep bumping it. Or if you get a chisel and come in right there, but don't hit right there because it'll just knock the top off there. I think one of the bolts is stuck, so if you're home, maybe taking all the bolts out would be a safer option. Yeah, just go on and take all the bolts out, be safe. I'm gonna get the bolts out so you don't think that's the noise I'm speaking of. This thing is it's bad. It's not supposed to sound like that. And this is the part we're changing, and it's actually not as hard as you think. Like, you really don't need special tools, as many as you think, usually. I'll show you when we get there. So this is just a kit you ordered off eBay, Amazon, whatever you prefer. And literally, I think 02 to 07 is about the same. Just the end cap, a new boot, which technically I may not even change that. Yes, I will for the video. The only, well, this is one thing to watch for, is see how that side is kind of bulged out, I guess should be the correct term, and this side is recessed. So just watch out for that. That's literally the only difference. Yeah, just watch out for that. Sometimes it comes with a gasket for one side, which makes no sense because both sides should be sealed. I reckon I know. I mean, that's going to seal exactly the same as this side, but they want a gasket on the back side. Can't explain that one. Just showing you what we're doing. Comes with grease, so if you got gloves, this is a nice time to have gloves. Let me go get the shaft and we'll start on it. So this dust cover, we need to knock it off there. And maybe, well, I usually use a chisel, but for the video I'm just going to use a screwdriver because more than likely most of y'all have screwdrivers instead of chisels. It's actually just a broke screwdriver. Just keep working around right here. Yours will be harder than this, I'll go ahead and tell you. Now, somebody's welded the clip on. Well, this usually ain't how it works out. There's a little clip right there, but this one's welded, so I'm gonna grind it off there and then we'll go from there. It's random. Now I got that off there. Usually it's just a standard clip. I'll show you when we go back together. This is the side the gasket's on. Makes no sense why one side has a gasket, but whatever. So now this part right here, yours will probably look like that. You just get you a pair of side cutters, something like these here, and basically just get it off there. I mean, no real professional way. This one is like the kit comes with, so I may actually reuse it. So there's that. Make sure your rubber is free. And now sometimes this will fall right off there, and sometimes it won't. Most times on factory, you may have to get what is called like a 2-jaw puller. Something of this nature here. Just put it on the sides and, you know, kind of common sense there. But sometimes you have to use them, sometimes you don't. If you're desperate, you probably cut this rubber out and get a chisel on the inside, pop it off there. But they're usually not too bad about coming off there. So now, just keep on sliding. And I have determined that this one got left in full drive to drive down the road because it's just cooked all the grease out of there. Unless whoever put it together didn't grease it at all. Either way, that ain't supposed to be like that. Now, pretty simple. Get the new rubber. You can put grease on here if you want, help it out a little bit. I think this is how I was doing it. Pushing it all the way through. Well, you can get a little round screwdriver under it, kind of help. This one's just really hard. Usually ain't this hard to slide over there. Works pretty good. I ain't never did it like that. So now, get that out of the way. And then, if you remember, I said this was the spacing back here. This is kind of recessed, so that the recess is going. The recess is going towards this piece. Probably got to tap it on there. Now, quality. Comes with them. This one's just boogered up, so I may end up putting a tack on it like it had. Pop this thing on there. Nah, it ain't going nowhere. I mean, it can't, unless you wreck the thing, it couldn't pull off there. It has nowhere to go. So now, before I get greasy, I'm going to show you how I do this clip. To be completely honest, if you don't have any tools like this, just put a stupid hose clamp. And if you're overly worried about useless stuff, just phase the hose clamp opposite of that one. You'll never notice a vibration this small on the inside of nothing. But I'll show you what I do if I got the right tools, I think. These are the ones you have to like lap. So you tie it down one time. You could put one round on it, I get that, but works better with a couple. Kind of evens out everything. Yeah, we'll just do two. So now, how was I doing this? Pretty sure we all got a pair of vice grips. Pull it tight as you can without hurting yourself. I think what I was doing was getting a flathead and then putting against it right there. And if I can get it started, yeah. You can just pull and then start folding it over. Honestly, I would just grab a hose clamp, move forward. Works better, cheaper, quicker, easier, but that's what the kit come with. Put that down, tap, tap, tap. Whatever cutters you prefer. Put that down in there and then fold the tabs over. That's covered. Before you do the hose clamp, you're supposed to line these up. But pretty sure it'll slide. So line them up. No gasket goes there for some strange reason. This is the part you don't have to wear gloves, but it just makes it easier here in just a few minutes. I'm gonna slip a cheap pair on. Be sure and use the CV grease or use some kind of CV grease. Axle grease is different. And then right here along the back, you just put it on there somewhere. I usually just go and put way too much. And this is the important part. If you just put it on there, you're doing it no good. You got to take like the palm of your hand right there and just keep pushing and pushing until it actually comes through the ball on the other side. try to keep it out of the bolt holes because it just takes grease away. You can see right there where it's starting to push through. That's pretty much all you're worried about. Backside's covered. I usually take what's left, just smear it on the front. Don't have to clean it back off, but when you take the gloves off, you'll wish it was. But kind of wipe some of that off there. Tore a hole in the gloves. They didn't do me any good. Guess it's better than nothing. I don't use the Allen bolts that it sends, but it's usually what I do. Use them for an alignment hole, key, whatever you call it. Pop this back on. See all that grease that was in the holes there? Just gonna go ahead and do all of them so we ain't gotta worry about it when we get it up to the Jeep. Now, for whatever reason, this little flimsy gasket, it goes on the back right here. Then you can use the bolts to line this up. And this is the part where I usually grab channel locks and just go ahead and snap all this stuff together if it will. Yeah. It'll finish tightening up when it gets on the bolts of the Jeep, but this is just for temporary. No. Yeah, I did. Don't forget your clip. I nearly forgot my clip, but I put it on earlier. Now, take these bolts back out. Unless you want to use them, you are welcome to use them. I just personally don't. Clean it up just a little bit. Feels much better already. Alright, let me clean my mess up and we'll stick it in the Jeep. I took the bolts out, now what do I do with them? Still be sure and don't lose your caps. Don't really matter. Usually if you go on top of the yoke like that, so you're lining it straight up. Probably needed my tool. It's on the ground. I'm going to carefully lay it on the yoke. Now if I can just get one bolt tight, that'd be good for now. Just so it ain't falling out on my head. Now I'm going to get these U-joints down here before they fall on the ground. Dadgum. That's what I've been telling y'all not to do the whole video. Alright, you can fix them if you drop them, if you're careful. Put them back in. They say to line these back up, and I'm not saying I disagree, but sometimes I'll put them like completely out of their spot. Kind of start a new home. Just personal opinion. People may disagree. Just something I do. If you put it, like if you see the mark and you put it just an absolute pinch off to the side, it's going to vibrate. But if you like move it all the way around and start like a whole new fresh break-in spot, I've had good luck out of it. And sometimes it don't even matter. Alright, I'm just going to tighten the lower side up. Now you can spin the tire. Now I'm going to work on the top box. that's pretty much it. Still see if it works. I'm gonna tighten the transfer case off video. That's nothing to do with y'all, but it's kind of weird. All right, let's see if it makes some noise anymore. All right, the ideal way to shift is, I don't know if you can see outside, we're just rolling, and then just kind of pull, and then still I would go to reverse, and then go back to drive and try it. Sometimes you just have to sit there and go back, forth, especially like if you're already stuck. You just never know when it's going to decide to take. Sitting still is not. Yeah, put it in reverse. If it won't spin backwards, it's easier to spin backwards than it is forward. We're in full drive. Let's do circles. You hear tires crashing. Got rid of the quick click. Now we got to make sure that it goes back to two-wheel drive. Like right now, you would think that's two-wheel drive, but still four-wheel drive. Go reverse. Yep. Just always remember, just keep going back and forth till you know for sure what it's in, and that'll save you from having this trouble. But as far as those CVs go, those are pretty easy to change, and U-joint, those are easy to change. So if you got a drive shaft like that, just try rebuilding it instead of buying another one. All right, that's it. Appreciate you watching. Till next time.